ACC PM, Amelia Island. You know the drill. We'll be here tomorrow as well.
Oh, man, they're showing my car parked out front.
That's not the one that got towed a while ago, is it?
I can't afford that car.
Yeah, that's right. It's a gorgeous spot. Look who's with us, the ACC champ in the house. How about that year, huh? I know I know you've rear view mirrored it. It's all the next play. I get all that, but we're going to go backwards first.
We have to.
Pretty impressive run, huh?
It was. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of people talk about, you know, the accomplishments, the wins, the championships, the Final Four run. But for me, the best part of it was just being around that particular group of kids. You know, the way they morphed into just one unit all throughout the year. It was a thing of beauty, something I'll always remember, but just their maturity as the year went along was so much fun.
I know you posted a couple weeks ago, really there are no days off, and you were posting about individual workouts. And you said the ones that are coming back, and we'll talk about Liz Kitley, who decided she's coming back, but you said maybe this is the best individual workouts that you've had. What have you seen from them coming off of that Final Four run, the group you still have here?
They're not satisfied. They're hungry, and what they want to do is go out there, and they don't want last year to not necessarily be a fluke, but they want to be able to do it again. They enjoyed the run. They grew as people, they grew as players, and they took a week off, mandatory. I made them, and they were right back at it. And the way that they are going at it, it's like they're not satisfied. You know, Liz has a lot to prove by coming back instead of going to the WNBA draft. Georgia, who just jumped onto the scene nationally, where everyone got to see her play, wants to continue that run. And then we have some hungry freshmen, young kids. So it wore me out. I was extremely tired that week, but it was a lot of fun.
I want to go back, though, to the last game, because something happened, Coach, that I don't know that I've ever seen before. You lose the game in the Final Four, and the expressions on your kids' faces as they were walking off the court, normally 99 out of 100% of the time, I don't care the sport, you lose a game like that, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, you know, it's dejection. And again, I know there had to be some hurt. But I've never seen a team smile, and it was just kind of like, wasn't this an incredibly cool thing to be involved with? Again, I know the object was to win the national championship, but it was glaring. In fact, we talked about it off the air. I said, I don't know if I've ever seen that before with any team. And it goes back to what you talked about, that relationship you had with not only with your team, but the relationship those players have with each other.
Yeah.
That it was more than wins and losses. I mean, that is really unique.
The special group, trust me, when they got to the locker room, they were bawling their eyes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure.
But I think the whole year long and their whole careers, they've understood that they represent something bigger than themselves. They represent their families, they represent the university, they represent our program. And everything that they do that with that in mind. And that's what made them so special. And when they lost that game, they knew they took Virginia Tech on a magical run. They knew there were so many people that were proud of them and happy for them, and they wanted to win that game. They knew we had an opportunity to win that game. And so as soon as we got in the locker room, they bawled their eyes out, but they went to the press conference. They represented extremely well, and I was very, very proud of them because they set the tone not only for a lot of young players to watch and look up to, but for our program for next year.
Yeah. I think there's something to be said about enjoying the journey, too, and being where your feet are so it doesn't pass you by, and I think you guys did a really nice job of that this season. Liz Kitley, she has decided to come back. We made mention of that. What were the conversations like with her and having her return for another year, what it does for your program?
You know, I learned from Asia Shepherd. Asia Shepherd had a COVID year, and her fourth year, she didn't really enjoy it as much as she could because she had so much stress about whether she was going to come back or not. And so Liz and I, Kayla as well, Kayla King, we talked about it in the beginning of the year, but I told them, relax, enjoy the season. I don't want you to have any regrets. I said, we'll talk about it when the time comes, but I want you to go through the year, enjoy every second of everything about your senior year. And you know, being a father of daughters, there were hints just listening to her talk. You know, I didn't have to sit her down and say, hey, what are you thinking? I could hear her talk. And some of the things that she would say kind of led me to believe that she was strongly considering coming back, but I didn't have to put pressure on her. I would just listen to her, and she loves Virginia Tech. She loves playing college basketball. She loves the accomplishments. She loves this team. And when she made the decision, obviously I was extremely happy, but I think it just really set our program up for the next couple of years.
All right, with that said, different expectations, right? All of a sudden, it does change,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not, good or bad. This in particular case, it's great. What have you talked about with this team upcoming? And again, I know it's a new team, but man, all of a sudden, Virginia Tech's not sneaking up on anybody.
Yeah.
Every preseason mock poll, top 5, top 10, make your pick. Everybody thinks that, guess what? That was no fluke last year.
Yeah, you know, last year we played with the bullseye on our back, and we played against some teams, and we got beat early on several times, not several times, but a couple times in the ACC, and we never got to shake hands with the people because they were celebrating at half court. And I think we learned a lot, that every game is going to be a really big game. And we went through a stretch, probably mid-February, but we played 5 ranked teams in a row. And that led right into the ACC tournament, which led right into the NCAA tournament. So we played at a very high level for, you know, not just a couple weeks. It was really a month and a half. And I think that really showed them a lot. Their poise just grew. Their maturity grew. And Mark, something happened during that tournament where we weren't the household name. You know, we weren't Stanford, we weren't Tennessee. We were kind of the new kids on the block. And there were a lot of doubters. And with this particular group, they never played angry. They never went out to try to prove people wrong. They were so confident in themselves, they just wanted to go out and prove themselves right. And so that's why you saw the looks on their faces. They were never angry. They were never looking like they were trying to prove somebody else wrong. They just knew how good they were, and every time they went out, they had an opportunity to prove themselves right. And I think that's the maturity, the growth of this team. Taylor Soule helped bring that to this team. Kayana Traylor helped bring that to this team. And I think Liz and Georgia and Kayla King, they will be able to take that and put it upon our next team.
Since you did just mention Taylor Soule and Kayana Traylor, both of them with the Chicago Sky right now. And I know they played in we're watching the growth of the game, and there was a big game in Canada, and they were 2 of the stars of the game. What was that like for you to have your 2 former players, both of them teammates, balling for the Sky this week?
Proud papa.
That was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, you know, for me, I mean, obviously we're very, very close, and they update me all the time after their practices and what's going on, and for them to be able to go out there and play at a high level, because the game was a sold-out game, and they went out and they played extremely well. And I was very happy for them. And we all know how hard it is to make a WNBA roster.
Absolutely.
So we're still hoping and praying for those 2 kids. But the impact that they had on our program, our community, will be lasting for a long time to come. And I just hope that they're able to achieve their dreams in the WNBA, because I do think that they belong. It's just one of the hardest pro leagues to make a roster in. And but I'm very, very proud of them.
Kenny, big picture with the ACC. You're in a great spot. I think Notre Dame's going to be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Neil's got a chance to do something special. The league has never been better as far as coaches, as far as returning players. I mean, take the Haley Van Lith transfer out. Okay, I mean, you look back at the returning scores in this league, and you just go, wow. If you thought the ACC was great last year, wait till you see what 23-24 looks like. I'm sure when you had these meetings today, and you look around the room, you're like, you know what? This is going to be some kind of race next year.
Keeps you on your toes. And you know, last year, I think one of the biggest, the proudest moment I had was knowing that we went through that gauntlet and we played extremely well. It wasn't like the ACC had a down year. It may have been the best year they've had in years. And for us to be able to come out on top during this particular period, it was very gratifying. That's something I'm very, very proud of. But you can't rest, because then you flip the pages forward, and normally you have people who are graduating and we're leaving, and there's so many great players coming back, you know, so many great coaches coming back, the infusion of new coaches, and I just think it's going to make for a great year again. Last year it had to be fun for the fans, nerve-wracking for coaches, but it had to be enjoyable for the fans, and we really were proud of ourselves the way that we played, but it's going to be tougher next year, and we're looking forward to the challenges.
I do want to brag on your group of girls, because APR just recently came out, and we talked a ton about it on the show. The ACC is by far the best when it comes to Power 5. You guys as a team, though, had a perfect multi-year APR, and I know you say proud papa. That has to make you really proud. How have you seen your teams buy into doing well on the court and clearly in the classroom?
It goes hand in hand. And when we go out and we recruit a young lady, we want someone who's going to fit, who's going to be a talented basketball player, who's going to fit everything about Virginia Tech, and academics are going to be very, very important to them. And when you get that combination, you know, the kids are going to play hard. They're going to have so much pride in their university. They're going to have so much pride in their academics. And where they have that focus, it generally means they're going to be a good basketball player. And I look at our kids, and they compete not only on the court, but they compete in the classroom. They're constantly trying to see who had the higher GPA. And you know, I had one of my players, Taylor Guyman. She came in and she graduated this past week, and she's a biomedical engineer. And when she sits down and she tells me about her day, when she went to school, 2 sentences in, I'm done. I don't know what she's talking about. But I can admit it. We have some very smart young ladies on our team, and I'm very proud of those accomplishments, just as much as their on-court accomplishments.
All right, so what's on the agenda now? It's 6:30, cocktail party's going on. We're out here working. You've got time off until tomorrow. What's the agenda like?
Well, this is kind of like a little vacation for me. I'm away from my kid, my biological kids. So me and the wife, we're here on a little mini vacation. We only get a couple hours together, but she enjoys this week more than anyone probably. So I'll probably go catch up with her, and she'll tell me about her wonderful day at this beautiful resort. And I had to sit in meetings all day, but it's great for her. But it's beautiful here. I love it. It's a great opportunity for all of us coaches to be able to connect on a less intense way, and we can go out and just kind of learn about each other.
You know, the commissioner, when he joined us earlier today, talked about, hey, you know, sometimes we need to learn to celebrate. You know, everybody's so competitive, and you got so many issues at stake here because it's a fascinating time in college athletics with all the stuff that's going on. But let's not lose sight of the fact that, hey, let's enjoy the good things, because there are a lot of great things that have happened in this league, whether we're talking about women's basketball or any other sport.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things I talk to my kids. I think the older that I get, you want to stop and smell the roses.
That's right.
And I keep telling them that all the time, to the point where they actually know what it means at a very early age in their lives. And I'm like, you know, enjoy the little things. And this past year in particular, I was able to enjoy the little things, going on road trips and just watching the kids enjoy themselves, watching our managers experience something for the very first time. And that brought me so much joy. And when we won the championship this year, you know, it was the biggest joy that I had was watching them experience the success, the tears, you know. And I've been through it and done it a lot, but watching them, and they just kind of reflected on all the hard days that they had and what it came to and accumulated to a championship. And that's a beautiful thing. So the older I get, the more I'm going to stop and smell the roses, and we pass that on.
Let me tell you something, there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care what you do for a living. There's a lot of truth to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, life's tough enough to begin with. Well, listen, man, nothing but success for you. Oh, you're an easy guy to root for.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate
and you've
that.
done it the right way, and Hokie Nation, I know, have supported like nobody's business. And being married to a Hokie, as you well know, I know when Virginia Tech's good, man, that fan base is strong.
Life is good.
Yeah.
I tell you, they represent it so well for us, and for me, I've been hounding this, and I say, you know, Castle, Hokie Nation can make a good team great, and they did that for us this year with the support that they gave us, and no better fans than Hokies.
Well, listen, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you,
Kenny
Coach.
Brooks, one of the good guys right there. Quick break, we come back. One of the newbies, Brett Autry from Syracuse, he's going to join us as well. All the festivities continue from beautiful Amelia Island right here on ACC PM.
Earlier